Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by banks of flowing river, there lived a boy named Adeoti. From a young age, Adeoti was known in the community for his stubbornness. While other children played and helped their parents with chores, Adeoti was always getting into trouble. He would climb the tall trees near the village and throw stones at villagers. He would laugh mischievously when old women scolded him. He took delight in scaring the younger children. As he grew older, his actions became bolder. He would sneak into people's animal cages and release them from their cages, causing chaos in the village. His parents, Olumide and Titi, were heartbroken. They had tried everything to correct him: spanking, warnings, and even prayers, but nothing seemed to work. Adeoti's heart was filled with rebellion, and it felt like no matter how much they tried, it was beyond redemption. One day, Adeoti went to release the chickens of Mama Ajayi. Mama Ajayi is an old woman of about 70 years old. She always has chicken to rear at all the time, and she's committed to those chickens, and everyone around her knows about it. She cares so much for them. But that evening, Mama Ajayi saw Adeoti. She ran as soon as she sighted him in order to stop him. But unfortunately, Adeoti already opened the cage and the chickens flew out. People felt sorry for Mama and more sorry for Adeoti and his parents. Aunty Ope, who is Adeoti lesson teacher, saw the whole event. She ran to Adeoti house to inform them of their son's evil deed. Everyone became scared. Adeoti has reached the peak of his stubbornness today. Ah, Mama Ajayi's chicken. This is what everyone keeps saying. Mama that may not eat, but her chickens must eat. As soon as Aunty Ope got to Adeoti's parents and explained to them, his mother shouted, "Ha! It is finished. Where will I see Mama Ajayi's chickens? How will I beg her? What will I do?" So his father said, "Calm down, my dear. Let us go and meet her first and apologize and hear what she has to say." So they got to Mama Ajayi's house. She was sitting in front of her house and crying as if she has lost somebody, and people gathered around her to say sorry. Adeoti's parents knew and begged Mama, "Mama, please forgive us. We are sorry. Mama, please forgive us. We are sorry." They apologized to Mama, but Mama didn't say a word to them. Then later she said, "I want my chickens back, okay? I want my chickens back." Adeoti's father said, "No problem, Mama. We will go to the market right away, immediately, to get you your chickens. How many are they, ma?" Mama Ajayi said, "That's not possible. I don't want chickens from the market. I want those 12 chickens that I've been laboring over. I want them back within 5 days." "Ah, Mama, please, where do we know? How do we search for chickens in this village? Where do we know? They will most likely would have entered bush. Please, Mama, please." Mama just left them angrily and she went inside and left everyone in shock. So people advised Adeoti's parents to go on for the search of Mama's chickens. Many of the villagers also joined them. But to their greatest surprise, they didn't find anyone after searching till night. So the next day, they tried searching around the village again, all to no avail. On the third day, Olumide, Adeoti's father, went to the market. He got 12 chickens in order to replace Mama's chicken. When he got to Mama Ajayi's house, Mama Ajayi refused to collect them. The matter was getting worse and it's becoming out of hand. Titi said, "What can we do? What else can we do? What kind of a trouble has this boy put us into? What kind of a troublesome son is this? What kind of evil is this?" Titi was almost crying, but her husband said, let's pray that Mama Ajayi will just forgive him and forgive us, because I don't know what else to do." So as they were having this conversation, somebody walked into their apartment, who is Mama's neighbor. He said, "I know Mama's first son. If you can reach out to Mama's first son, Mr. Akin can talk to Mama for you. Mama always listen to him. So the next day they called Mr. Akin and he responded well to them, and he promised to show up in the village on the next day, which is the fifth day that Mama gave them. So on the fifth day, Mr. Akin came around and brought 12 chickens. He prostrated and begged his mother. She could not say a word. She got emotional and accepted those chickens. Adeoti's parents also joined and they all apologized to Mama. Mama said okay, that she heard everybody, and then she was happy. She smiled because the son intervened. Akin further explained to them that his mother is just in love with chickens and rearing of chickens, that she has been doing that since they were a child, and then for many years now she has delight in taking care of them, and there is no ulterior motive at all. My mother is clean. It's just a matter of emotionality and then love for chickens, and that is all. So everybody understood Mama better now, and so everyone even joined in caring for these chickens. Adeoti's parents were more than grateful to Mr. Akin, and that day they went back home. So Adeoti became more troublesome. On a particular day, he did one evil thing, and then it was so terrifying. He summoned swarms of bees to attack the village, and everybody shouted, "This boy is evil." So his parents decided they could no longer bear his ways. With heavy heart, they decided to seek help from a reverend man of God who lived on the outskirts of the village. The man of God named Pastor Ayotunde was known far and wide for his wisdom and spiritual strength. People said that he could perform miracles and had a way of reaching even the most stubborn heart. When Adeoti's parents arrived at his humble home, they explained their plight. Pastor Ayotunde listened quietly, his face calm, though his eyes reflected deep understanding. "Bring the boy to me," he said softly. The next day, Adeoti was reluctantly taken to Pastor Ayotunde's house. As they entered the pastor's compound, Adeoti coughed and muttered under his breath, "What can this old man do to me?" he thought. He was no stranger to people trying to correct him, and he had no intention of changing at all. Pastor Ayotunde greeted Adeoti with a smile that seemed to shine from within. "You are welcome, my son," he said gently. "Do you know why you are here?" Adeoti folded his arms. "My parents say I am evil, that I need to change. I don't believe them." The pastor nodded thoughtfully. "You don't believe them because you do not understand. Let me show you something." He led Adeoti to a quiet spot at the back of his house, where a large and ancient tree stood. "This tree," the pastor began, "was once just like you, a tiny seed with a great potential for growth. But it was planted in poor soil and it struggled. Now, though it has grown tall with a strong root, change comes when you allow yourself to be nurtured, when you allow the right kind of soil to help you grow." Adeoti, though skeptical, found himself intrigued. He had never been spoken to in such a calm, understanding way before. Pastor Ayotunde continued, "You have power, Adeoti, but right now, you use it to hurt others. What if you could use the same power for good?" The boy rolled his eyes but didn't interrupt. "Every tree has its seasons," Pastor Ayotunde continued. "The strong roots that keep it standing in the storm are built in silence and humility. You must learn the same way." That night, Adeoti had trouble sleeping. The pastor's words kept echoing in his mind. What if I really could change? What if I really could change? So the next morning, Pastor Ayotunde asked Adeoti to join him in his daily routine. "Walk with me today," he said. "We will gather firewood and tend the garden." Adeoti was surprised at how peaceful the pastor's life seemed. There was no chaos, no rushing around, just steady work and moments of quiet reflection. For the first time in his life, Adeoti found himself actually contributing. As they worked together, Pastor Ayotunde would occasionally stop to pray or offer quiet words of wisdom. So days turned into weeks, and Adeoti began to soften. His heart began to soften. He began to understand the strength in kindness, the power of self-control, and the peace that came from serving others. One evening, after weeks of hard work and reflection, Adeoti found himself sitting under the same ancient tree the pastor had shown him earlier. As the sun dipped below the horizon, he felt a strange peace within himself. His old ways of mischief and destruction seemed distant, like they belonged to someone else. That night, Pastor Ayotunde gathered the village together for a special service. It was the first time Adeoti had been to such an event, and as they sat in the back, listening to the pastor speak about forgiveness, redemption, and the power of transformation, something stirred deeply within him. After the service, Pastor Ayotunde approached him. "Adeoti, my son," he said, "you have started to change. The true power is not in scaring others, but in leading them with love and understanding." Adeoti nodded, his eyes filled with the tears. For the first time, he understood what it meant to be a man of honor. Weeks passed, and Adeoti returned to his village. When his parents saw the change in him, they could hardly believe their eyes. The boy who had once been a terror was now helping his neighbors, doing his chores without being asked, and speaking with kindness. So one day, the elders of the village gathered in a town square. They called Adeoti forward. "Young man," they said, "we have seen the change in you. The evil spirit that once controlled your heart has been driven out. You are now a child of peace." So from that day forward, Adeoti became a source of inspiration in the village. His life was no longer filled with mischief and fear, but now with love and kindness and service to humanity, service to others. Pastor Ayotunde's wisdom had transformed him, and the boy who was once terror became a beacon of hope. In no time, Adeoti gathered some children in the neighborhood, the younger children and people of his age bracket. He started having classes with them, teaching them the word of the Lord, encouraging them to become better children in the community. This amazed everybody in the village. People were surprised at him, and everyone even gave their contribution to this fellowship that he newly started. Pastor Ayotunde was also proud of him, and the same thing for his parents. This is what the Bible talks about in Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6. "Train up your child in the way he should go, so that when he is grown, he will not depart from it." If you have any child that gives you trouble or that is stubborn, you should not give up on that child. Commit the heart of the child to the Lord and seek counsel from people that can guide you. Seek counsel from people that knows about handling children better. Maybe the approach you are following is not the right approach, but there is always a better approach to every matter. So pray that God should guide you as you cater for your children. Thank you so much for listening to my channel, watching my channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate people that have subscribed, and I appreciate people that will subscribe. Thank you. Please like, share, and comment also. This is African Story by Temi. Watch out for more impactful stories. Thank you.